All right, friends. Welcome to another episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason,
Hey, Jason, what's on your mind?
dude, I want to know what lessons were learned at Indy. You just
Oh,
went.
yeah. I got schooled, man. That's what I have to tell you. As a total novice showing up, it's you got to do your homework, friends. So I will help you understand how you deal with 350,000 people all coming to one event.
And I preface this that you are a man of homework and scholarship.
Oh
You
yeah,
did do some planning.
oh yeah.
And are you telling it didn't or did not quite measure up or what?
Well, the part I did the planning on, actually, that part worked out. The part I didn't think about was how to get into Indy with the crowds. And so let me start at the beginning and I'll paint you a picture. How about that?
Sounds good.
I knew parking was going to be a problem, just with that many people trying to park a car to go to a one-day event with 350,000 people, right? So uh, what we did is we camped at the drag strip. There's a big NHRA drag strip, about 8 miles away, and they have what's called a Race View Family Campground. And it was great. Nice grass, trees, and, but man, you're just like sardine in there, but you're with racing fans. So we camped with our, truck and our, rooftop tent. And we got the bikes out and we thought, oh man, we're going to be the only ones biking there because there's a rails to trails bike path quarter mile from the campground that goes straight into almost the front gate of Indy, very close. And, so I had that all researched out. Nope. There was a lot of other people in that campground had the same vibe. And so Tanis and I hopped on our bikes and there was just a little bit of road riding. And then once you got to the path, it was just a pleasure-filled ride, just 3% grade, pretty much downhill on that one end. And we're just riding in the trees. Other people are going to Indy. They had the vibe. And then it starts to get into people start tailgating along the bike path. There was some parking as you got closer. And you had to kind of start walking your bike in certain sections. And then a family of 4 showed up. And they've been to Indy before. They were riding their bikes. And so we just asked them at a stoplight, hey, can we just follow you? Because you know what you're doing. They're like, sure, come on. So we found our front door, man. We found these people and they were super cool and they just led us through the traffic. And then we were looking for the same thing. We were looking for the bike racks. And so Tanis found them, and so there was a fundraiser for a bike program that you could pay money and lock it inside, but we didn't have a reservation for that, so that was a little piece of research I didn't do. Or you could lock them up to a fence, and so we went with the fence. And so yeah, we had our bike locked, so we made it to Indy. We're like, look at that. It's only 10:30. Race doesn't start till 12:40. Great. All right, so let's go in through the front gate. So we're standing in line and, it's a big crowd. And so you're not moving and it's hot and you're sweating. It's not moving. So I'm like, I made the rookie mistake. Let's go to the next gate. Let's go from gate 1 over to, I don't know, gate 3 or something, start working our way around because we're at the front gate, which is basically turn 2 for any reference. Well, sorry, turn 1.
Okay.
And that goes into turn 2. We're in turn 3. So that means we're at turn 1. We're on the opposite side of the complex, the raceway. Well, it's a 2.5 mile oval inside of the stadium.
Unfathomable. Yeah, you're just like,
okay. What? So I'm like, well, let's go down to turn 4, come around to turn 3. Sound logical, right? Okay. So we get to the next gate, And I'm like, oh, the line's not long. And then another guy's like, oh, the line starts over here, like double back on itself. I'm like, oh, that's longer than the front. Let's just keep going down. It's got to get thinner as we go. Nope. We get to the gate 10 down at the far end of turn 4. Nope. That's where one of the biggest parking lots is. And the intersection of this street was shut down, and we're all just standing in the intersection waiting to get in. And so once again, we found a family. We're just chatting it up with race fans. Everyone's cool though.
Everyone's excited.
Everyone's fun. A lot of drinking going on, a lot of sweating, and found another family with a big stroller with 2 kids in it and one little kid walking. We're talking to them. So we just followed the family. They knew what they're doing. They had race shirts on, they had McLaren. Everyone's decked out in McLaren gear as a family. So we're chatting up.
Of course, you're attracted to them. You're like, let's go on. Yeah.
So we finally get in, and it's like 45 minutes to the flag drops. We're in the gate, through security, all that. So we're like, no problem. We just have to get around to turn 3, and you're still walking, and you're still walking. And you're still walking, and all of a sudden it's like 12:20, and we're like, uh-oh, we're still not, now we're stuck in the bathroom line, because by then we got to go to the bathroom, right? And so now the bathroom line's 400 people long. So we're like, past that bathroom. Finally we start kind of getting towards our area, and I'm looking at my watch, and I'm already at 7,000 steps. That doesn't include the 8-mile bike ride. And I'm like,
oh yeah, dude.
I'm already at 7,000 steps just to get to the restroom. And finally we find the right restroom, dodge in, and now we're like trying to find our tickets. Oh, we finally found our section. They're doing the national anthem, the jets are flying overhead. We're like, oh. And then
you could see it.
Oh, yeah. Now so we're walking up, and we find our row. And of course, we're in the middle. We got to scoot around everyone, but everyone's cool. They're helping you. Yeah. And we get our seats, and man, just the parade laps going around. So what that means is there's 33 cars, 11 rows, 3 wide. You got the pace car. They're just the first lap is like super chill, and they fly military helicopters over the cars next to the race fans. I mean, you're like seeing straight into the helicopter. They're that low. Like you're up in the stands. Very cool. They got the whole big screens going on in the infield, so you can see everything that's going on. So we just made it. I mean, we left at 9 o'clock that morning. We thought 3 hours, 40 minutes just to get to our seat. We can do it. We did it just barely. And that wasn't without finding help. And that's the lesson learned is when you're a rookie, you're a novice, you don't know what you're doing, just find someone that seems to know what they're doing and just see if they can help you. And we found our angels every time.
Yeah, everyone's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's excited. Let's go.
And then the people around us, this is the second glorious part. I did not expect this. I knew race fans are cool. I've been around a lot of races, but Indy fans are something special. The people behind us, decked out in jerseys, sounded like they come every year. This is like their section. And it's been coming for years. And the seats are a little tight, and
sure,
so we're a little sandwiched in there. And this lady's like, I got long legs. And she like taps me on the shoulder. She goes, I'm just going to be kicking you all day because, I'm tall. And so that kind of started off a fun conversation. And then the dude next to them, he had huge binoculars, and he starts asking me, who you got? And so I told him who I was, finding. And then we had kids down on the other side of Tanis. They're partying a little bit more, but they weren't obnoxious. You get those sports obnoxious fans that drink all day and they say the wrong thing. No, they were cool. And then, the person next to me was a young kid. He's a big race fan. He bought collectible memorabilia, and it was in a bag down there. And so him and I got to talking. He was Ferrucci Santino fan, and So yeah, so it was just everyone was so nice and everyone's locked in. I mean, it's not like you show up and no one's paying attention.
Right.
Everyone is cued in. What's going on the track? You had the big screen, which thank God they have two big screens for you to watch because that course is so big. There's no way you're seeing the start finish line. There's no way you're seeing turn two. We had the view of the straight out of turn two. If you stood up, you could see them coming around, and we are at the end of the straight going into turn three. They're hitting about 220 miles as they're coming past you. I mean, it was so fast and so impressive. And then they go into that turn three. You could see them in the short chute between turn 3 and 4. You could see just a little bit of turn 4, and then they, disappear. And what a race. I mean, they had a couple red flags. So what that means, they had to shut the race down. We were dealing with a little bit of rain and a few accidents. And then the fans all just start chatting with each other. Loved it. It's just such a nice race culture. I would go back to that again. Easy. So.
Okay. Well, I got 2 questions on top of everything. Okay. What swag did you get, if any?
None. I did none. No.
You are a steel-clad. You didn't get, the dude's got
nothing.
Stuff next to you. He's got memorabilia. Everyone's wearing their shirt. You didn't. You're like, no. Okay, well, all right, way to go. And then what about food? Did you just eat your sandwich that you brought with you, or did you?
Yeah. No.
Look at you.
We brought our own stuff.
Okay.
And the reason is I didn't want to miss the race.
True.
If I'm stacked up in the stands, and this we knew, this was the plan ahead, is like we kind of knew where our seats were, like, oh man, just if you have to leave mid-race, say to run to the bathroom, okay, that's one thing. But to go stand in a hot dog line and miss part of the race, no, not doing it. So yeah, I had a cooler bag. We bought a cooler bag, and we brought in our own sandwiches, our own veggies, and our own beers.
You were saying they were cool. They were cool with you bringing your own stuff in.
Yeah, we brought in our own beers. We went non-alcoholic because we knew we had to ride back.
Right.
And but still, man, we had our own food. We just sat there and ate and had a great time. And
okay, well, what are other people? I was just curious. What is the hot thing that people were who did wait in the 45-minute line to get food? Did you notice any kind of food item that was wow, everyone's getting this? Or were they all like you? They're like, we bring our own stuff. And
most people around us brought food, except for the young kids. They're the ones running off getting the burgers, and nothing looked special. I'll just say
standard
that.
fare.
Just standard, yeah, just standard fare. I didn't have time to really hang out at the concession lines to research it. So I let you down on that.
No, just walking around, someone's got the little, whatever, the little race car cup.
Right. Yeah. So now I skipped. We were in such a rush just to get there.
Dude.
We saw nothing on the way. So on the way out, we're like, let's hit a little concession line, or not a concession, but a swag line. Let's look at some merch.
To see. Yeah.
And, the hot seller was the mini Indianapolis flags, race flag. They're little small ones on a little stick. And so I'm just standing there looking at, $50 hats, $40 hats, $100 jerseys. I'm like, because I still got to ride back, so we're loaded with gear. Yeah. So I'm like, and so, nope, I tapped out. So,
well, what were you talking? So you're sitting around. What was the race talk? Who are you going for? You say everyone had a person. Who is your person? That guy said, who are you looking for? I'll look for him.
I went with Ed Carpenter. He's one of the older guys. He's an Indiana native, and I've watched Ed for 20 years. And but he owns his own team, so he has 3 cars in there, and so I was going for Ed Carpenter first, and then I was going for I really like his second driver, Alexander Rossi. He's won at one time, And then I forget who was third driver in, but yeah, Ed went out early in the race, got a little sideways with someone, and cashed in his day. And then Rossi couldn't finish. And then my third was Malukas, a young California kid, and he was on the hunt on the last lap. He had some options, but it's probably one of the most thrilling endings to an Indy 500 in history, and I was there. So.
Okay, so tell us why? Because Felix
Rosenquist.
Yep. Yeah, tell us what you know.
Well, here's the deal: is Indy is very fast, low bank turns, so it's not a high bank turn. So the cars are set up to where, when you're going over 200 miles an hour, it's hard to run side by side, right? What made the last lap special is Felix is basically when the white flag drops, he's like third place. And so he ran next door to another driver side by side all the way around the track. And to do that and not wash out, typically when you run the high side, he had the high side, not the inner side.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take your foot off the throttle, because the higher you go on a racetrack, what's up there, they call it the marbles. As cars go around, rubber comes off of the tires and it goes up the track. And so to run the high side, you run the risk of getting loose because of all the debris that winds up on the track, right? Mm-hmm. And so he ran toe to toe, and then he comes around right where we were, and he was able to get behind who was in front, and then he slingshots the end. So he not only drove side by side past that guy, got around to come around for the win, but then used the draft off of the other car to slingshot him right across the line. Perfect timing. As in, both cars were crossing the finish line, just the nose of his cross first. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd went nuts. That was just another, everyone was just we're watching it on replay on the big screen. It was so good. I mean, no, I mean, as in, people stayed to listen for a little while, because they're doing the whole end of thing and celebration.
You're there, man.
You're there, right? And so, unbelievable.
Dude, how exciting for you. And Felix, what's his history? What team was he with? Do you remember? Or do you know anything about him?
Well, I know he's is he a Dane? I think he's Danish. And he's been around. I think he's been, 7, 8 years. And his time was due. He was coming. He's just a consistent, solid driver. And he had a really good qualifying car, and people knew he had it. The question is who's going to step up at the end? Like any sport, right? Who's going to put everything on the line at the end? He was the guy.
Yeah.
He just had, he was the bravest one out there at that time, and he figured it out and sized it up and
quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, well, and as an organizational, it was 350,000 people. Was it orchestrated well? I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
People everywhere doing it all. So that was good.
Yeah. I mean, you us Americans, we all get a little impatient standing in line. But in hindsight, if we would have stayed
where we were
the first time, what I didn't realize is they had that first gate 1 has more people checking people through.
Yes.
So that was my mistake, is I just got impatient. Let's go to the next line. And those gates were smaller gates and the lines were longer. So, but in the end, we found cool people everywhere we went. And now I know. And so the next time we show up, we'll just go through gate 1, and then we'll go left or right around the racetrack, depending on where seats are at, and try to go a little earlier. I didn't understand why people were leaving. Like, I got up and I was watching people from my campground riding their bikes at 7 in the morning. I'm like, wow, they're going early. I wonder why. Oh, now I know. Now I
Right.
know, because if you want to get there, find your spot wherever you're sitting, go to the concession stand, go to the
Or
souvenir
just soak it
stand,
up. Yeah.
soak it up, walk around a little bit more. They have tunnels underneath the infield of the racetrack, so you can go through the tunnels. I didn't get to do that. You can do seats on the infield because they also have a golf course in the infield. The racetrack is that big. They have several holes of an 18-hole golf course inside the racetrack.
Crazy.
Yeah, because the rest of the golf course is behind you. And so there's all these other things to check out. And they have what's called the Snake Pit. It's a concert for the youngins. It's basically a rave party, the entire Indy 500. They have a stage and music blasting the whole time in the infield. With
While the race is going on?
While the race is going. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's insane. There's 100,000 people just in the infield alone.
Damn.
So I know. So it's another planet,
Yeah. Wow.
Tannis and I were talking about that. Why would they let us bring all this food in? Well, here's the deal. It's a one-day event, and you got to service 350,000 people with food and water. It's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have to let you bring your water bottle in, bring your cooler, that kind of thing. Because, you're basically a city came in, watched, and then a city left. And so, it's just dealing with people, figuring it out. But I really like the biking thing. That gold, that was score. So a lot of fun. So my hat's off to the city of Indianapolis and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They put on a good show.
They do. They do with that Lucas Oil. They do the combines. They do Super Bowls. They do all kinds. Indianapolis really has it locked down on so many things.
I went to a couple conferences there back when I was as a principal, and man, great downtown scene. Great subterranean or like basement bars. Great food scene. I really liked Indianapolis, the city itself. So yeah, we didn't have a chance to do that on this trip because just, again, gridlock, like we're riding our bikes and just 5 miles out, way back, there's still gridlock in the city from people trying to get their way out, and
see ya.
So I think in some ways we did it right. In some ways we learned some lessons, but thanks for asking, man. So hope to go again. Not next year, but in the future. So my next race I need to go to is Daytona 500 in Daytona, Florida. So I'm switching to NASCAR. I'm going to try to do that in 2027.
That sounds excellent.
Yeah. Late February, early March. I don't know. I have to look at the calendar. But the point is, that's the next challenge. How do I figure out how to get to that race and enjoy it with Tannis and get back out? So
I would think some of the things you learned here would apply there.
That's right. So we're going to take our intel from this experience and try to go to the next place. So anyway, man, hey, guess what?
What?
Hey, we're out of time for this episode. So thanks, friends, for joining us for this episode of Life According to Brian.
And Jason.
Until next time. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Is it overhyped? I thought it was cool, but maybe you think differently. See ya.